Hello, and thank you for tuning in. So today, it's that very special time of year when we're appreciative for so many things. We want to welcome Jose Ruiz of Downbeach Home Repair. And this time of year, it's so important that we focus on winterization of homes and, of course, de-winterization of homes, because now it's also, the market is a little bit different. We have more people working from home and spending time at the shore. So I'm sure you have so much information to help us moving forward this season. So we say safe and warm. So we wanted to hear what you have to say regarding your point of view on winterization of properties here on the island.
Well, it's definitely very important to winterize your house properly here, especially at the shore. The winters we have here are a little more eventful than inland, so we have to take into account the salt air and everything that the ocean brings with it.
Your company, Downbeach Home Repair, is a very popular company, and basically, our clientele would reach out to you and schedule a time that they could meet with you, and you would come over and prepare their home for the winter if they are spending time in another location. Can you go over the basic steps that are involved with the preparation?
So there's a little checklist that we go through when they're wanting to winterize their home. We check the outside. There's a number of things outside that we want to check. The outside plumbing, the furniture outside, the chimneys, access points under the home. There's a lot of different things that we look at. And that's just outside. And then there's a few things inside that we go through as well. And depending on if they're leaving for the weekend or maybe for a few months, there's certain things that we'll do. So we'll go over all of that with them. It gets pretty extensive, but for the most part, it's, shutting down the plumbing outside, securing everything outside, changing your filters and checking your heat, stuff like that. So we go through a little checklist of things just to make sure that all that stuff is done. And I also offer off-season home maintenance. So I'll pop by every week or 2 weeks and check the house and the outside and make sure everything's okay. There's a little checklist that I have, and I'll go through that whole thing once a week or so and just get back to the client here and there just to put them at ease while they're away.
Would you mind explaining to our audience today why it's so important, especially for a second homeowner that's not occupying the house, why they winterize their home here on the island, or really anywhere? But
sure, yeah, it's really important, especially here. We get that driving wind and rain, and so we get a lot of freezing pipes. So we want to make sure all of that outdoor plumbing is off and drained out, so you don't come home to busted shower and a bunch of other things. We want to make sure that the gutters are clean. In the winter, you get a lot of leaves. In the fall and winter, a lot of leaves, and then it rains on that and freezes. So you're putting a lot of pressure on that, which could cause leaks inside the house. So you want to check for that. Shingles, your flashing. Check the fireplace, the flume, make sure that's all cleared out. Maybe throw insulation in there, or make sure also that the crawl space doors are tight so you don't get any critters under the house while you're away. There's a lot of things that can happen while you're not there, and some things happen pretty quickly. So if you're not there and it happens and you don't know about it for a few days or a week, it could be pretty catastrophic.
what possibly could happen if the home isn't winterized by a professional? I mean, there's a lot of people that can stop by and lower the heat or try to drain your pipes, but it's so important that someone, with your expertise as a professional in this area, that it's done properly. The
last thing you want in the winter while you're away is for the pipes in your house to bust. If they're not drained properly, that can definitely happen. And even, just not only that, but, where to shut your water, where to shut that off at the main, or if you're just doing the outside of the home. Also, unplugging appliances. You want to make sure that you don't leave anything plugged in. checking the sump pump, making sure that's working properly. If it does start to flood in your basement and your sump pump isn't working properly, that'll definitely that'll be pretty bad for you. I had mentioned the gutters. What happens is then, it pulls away from the house because it gets so heavy, and then you have access to, under the siding or in there, and then, then you have water access in the house, and then you come home and you look up at the ceiling and you have a big old watermark, and who knows what's in there. So yeah, that's definitely very important. Something that you don't really think about often is just cleaning out the gutters.
The other item that I think doesn't always come to top of mind is, you mentioned critters. And so many people don't realize that we do have a little wildlife on the island. We have a lot of bunnies, we have possums. I've seen over like in more south, I've seen wild turkeys. I mean, there's mice, there's little snakes. There's a variety of little guys that like to live near the beach as well. So that's one of the reasons that I think it's really important to have a professional such as yourself that makes sure everything's buttoned up. You don't have like holes in your, open areas in your garage or in your crawl space, or, maybe you can speak to that about a little experience that you've had in the past, or.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. I've had a few houses who've had little possum families kind of move in. And that happens. We have a lot of different little critters on the island, or a lot of great wildlife here. And but when it gets cold, or we also have a lot of construction going on. So when that starts to happen, they look for somewhere to go. And that's part of the check that we do. We'll check all the crawl space, all the access points to the house, and make sure that everything is nice and buttoned up and sealed properly, just so they don't come in and make a home under there. It's very important to keep them out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So now that we are involved in the pandemic time period, we have clientele that, are concerned about shutdowns or working remotely more. So, perhaps I've had my house winterized and now I decide, I'm really concerned. I need a change of environment. I want to move to my beach house or to my shore house. How difficult is it for you to de-winterize a property once it's been, completely shut down and prepared for the winter season?
It's not. It doesn't take as long to do that than it is to shut it down. When I'm shutting it down, we're really, checking every little thing to make sure it's buttoned up properly. When you go to open it back up again, we're going to make sure that, we're going to go turn the water back on, make sure everything's running properly, HVAC system, everything's good, check for any kind of, attempted, which we do every week anyway, is any kind of, God forbid, any kind of attempted break-ins or anything like that. But if I'm just reopening a house, it's basically, it's a pretty quick process. It's basically turning the water on and checking everything out.
So if we have one of our clients reach out to you, is it probably about a 24-hour turnaround, or?
Yeah,
okay.
We'll reach out and they say, hey, change your plans. We're going to come down tomorrow and kind of wait it out down there or something like that. I can get over there pretty much right away and get that done before they get down here.
And it's certainly an advantage that you have your watch program too, where you can stop by the homes and check for any type of leaks or security issues. So that's a huge reason to reach out to Downbeach Home Repair as well. Yeah,
it's a huge peace of mind for a lot of my clients to have me, being on the island. I'm only about 5 minutes away from their house, so just knowing that we're down here and we can do that for them is very good.
Do you have any tips for us, for those who live here year-round, what they should prepare for to possibly, winterize their house and stay nice and warm and comfortable without any hiccups this upcoming winter season?
Sure. On top of checking everything else that you would do, there's a few things that, even I have to go and probably do soon to my own home. And one of the things is changing your air filter. You do it about 4 times a year. Some people do it twice a year, some people once a year, some people don't know the last time they've done that. But that's very important to keep everything running smoothly and efficiently. Also, your ceiling fans, try to run them clockwise, because what that does is it actually pushes the hot air back down, and that saves you a lot of money with turning the heat on. If that's pushing the air back down, you're getting a good warm flow. Also checking for drafts. What I do is you shut your windows on a drafty day and just go around with like incense or something. And if you see the smoke being pulled towards a part of the window, you know that you'll need to seal that up a little better. That can save you a lot of money in heating costs. Also, if you have like floor vents and you have multi-levels in the house, I like to shut the ones down upstairs with the heat on, because you don't need the heat upstairs. What that does is it pushes it downstairs, and that'll just kind of filter throughout the house, and that'll save you a bunch.
Something else I've noticed over the years with our building in Ventnor, it's a it's a well-built brick building, but it's interesting that based on the rain and the water table, randomly the elevation will be higher, and we'll get some, water in our basement. So that's another reason I think that it's so important that homes are checked, because it could cause, perhaps your heating system to go down. But I don't think everyone focuses on that water table. Sometimes that can really become an issue if it's not monitored.
Yeah, you definitely want to pay attention to that. Make sure that your basement is nice and dry. Maybe dry lock the brick. There's a product it's a paint called Dry Lock, and that pretty much seals everything. There's a number of things you can do, but yeah, definitely we are on an island, and we do get some killer tides here, so that's always an issue. Always make sure that goes with the sub pump too, making sure that's functioning properly, and yeah, just keeping that basement very dry is so important.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have anything else you might want to mention regarding, the winterization or protecting your property here on the island, since you're, born and raised in Margate and a native? I mean, you have firsthand knowledge of.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to give me a call. I'd be happy to come by and check everything out for you. I'm always around. I'm always doing it. There's no charge to come out and give estimates, and also, I do this every year. Especially now, we're going through some tough times, and financially, a lot of people are struggling. If anyone knows anyone who actually needs or may want to have their house looked at and winterized, if they have kids and maybe they can't afford to have someone come out, I do that for free for people who need it. So if anyone knows someone in need for that, just let me know, and I'll go take care of it for them.
That's super generous and admirable. I really appreciate you mentioning that today. It's
the last thing we can
wonderful.
do.
Yeah, we are having, some challenging times. And again, it's that time of year that we're so grateful for all that we have. And we're fortunate here today. We're happy and healthy, and, trying to keep the economy going and moving forward. And that thought alone is just so huge.
Yeah, it's important.
That's for sure. Well, Jose, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate your time and your great energy. And, we highly recommend you for any type of winterization and security and monitoring properties and home repairs. So it's all about Downbeach Home Repair. And thank you again. Just a thrill to have you today.
Great holiday. Thanks.
Yep. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday as well. Take care.
Yeah.